enhancing modern teaching and learning efficiency through practical use of AI. So Mungani is going to be more of practical session. We need to lay a background akan theoretical aspects in kodin yaya saboda with the knowledge na theory din za mu fahimci shi kan shi practical din. So as a way of introduction, duka mu dai mun san what AI is all about. Yanzu mun san muna era wanda ake ce ma fourth industrial revolution. And wannan era din abun da yake ko kuma ce ilimin da ya fi kowanne me zan kira abun faɗaɗa da girma kenan ko shine AI. So this morning da safen nan nake tambayan AI, mun san abin da ake tambaya ana ce mishi prompt. Sai na tambayi AI wannan question din da muke gani a screen namu. If you could suggest a skill that everyone should learn in this era, what would that be? Wannan prompt ne na sama AI da safen nan. And guess what the answer is? Kun ga amsan da ya bamu ne. Yace if I must suggest one essential skill everyone should learn in this era, it would be the skill of learning how to learn with AI as a partner. This line na farko kada ya ishe mu abin da muke bukata a gana. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that wannan workshop din da muka yi is the best workshop so far. At this era a wannan lokacin da muke da shi, ko mutum me yake yi, ko me sana'anka, ko me profession naka, aikin gwamnati kake yi, kai ko ka san kashi kake yi, at this era knowledge in AI is very very essential saboda zai taimaka maka ka enhancing duk wani parts na rayuwanka, kai developing kanka, kai duk wani abu da kake. So without wasting much of our time, mun san cewa kamar yadda muka da AI is here to stay. Ana ta samun criticism akan AI saboda proliferation na AI. Wasu na tunanin yanzu AI is making us lazy. Wasu na tunanin idan AI ya ci gaba ɗalibai za su daina karatu saboda yanzu duk assignment da aka ba yaro zai je sa GPT, duk wani abin da yaro ke bukata zai je, duk abin da malami ke bukata, like is making us lazy, is making us uncreative. We are not using our cognitive mind. We are not using our creative mind. A lot of criticism. Nan gaba idan aka ci gaba maybe za a daina karatu, za a daina kaza. But the truth is AI is here to stay. Wannan criticism din da ake yi, the same thing ya faru da Google. Kafin lokacin Google, lokacin in mutum zai research da abin da kake bukata sai ka je library. Wani library ma kana Kaduna a ce maka ai babu shi a Kaduna sai ka je Abuja, a ce maka wani library littafin ma sai ka je Lagos zaka samu. So lokacin mutum idan zai project sai ya tashi daga wannan library zuwa wannan library, daga wannan gari zuwa wannan gari. Kuma idan ka buɗe littafi kana neman abu ɗaya, za a ce maka kafin ka ga abin da kake neman nan zaka fara daga farko, pejin farko. Within the process you will learn a lot. Amma da Google ya fito fa, za ka sami shi specific abin da kake bukata a ɗakinka comfortably, ka samu abin da kake bukata. So a lokacin shi ma an dinga samun the same criticism cewa yanzu Google yana making mutane lazy, mutane ba sa karatu, mutane ba sa buɗe littafi, mutane. So amma at the end of the day ba, Google is there to stay. Haka nan sai da aka embrace Google. So the same thing with AI. The point is, whether we like it or not, AI is here to stay. So the best thing we could do is what? To learn, to master it and incorporate it into our daily life activity. AI is serving as a foundation between this, based on this workshop, AI is serving as a foundation between traditional education to what AI supported knowledge. The earlier we embrace the AI, the better for us. Idan ba haka ba za a tafi ne a bar mu a baya. So this session, just like I said, is going to be very, very practical. I will brief on the slides presentation. Then, idan mutum na da question, ya jotin zai fi sauki in muka zo question and answer session. So any question that we have, we should just jot probably the slide page. Da kuma question namu, then idan muka zo sai me answering questions. Just like we said, everybody knows about AI. So it's going to be discussion. Kaman ƙara ma juna sani ne zamu. Saboda there is a popular quote da yake cewa, and no matter how much we know, there's still more to know, right? And another one kuma yana cewa, there's still more to know. And another one yana cewa, what we already know. Or let me say, unless our life is perfect, what we know is not enough. Like what you already know, you know. Unless our life is perfect, what you know is not enough. And we all believe that our life is not perfect. So therefore, we still need to learn more. So this is our learning outcomes. At the end of the workshop, this is what is expected. Mu koya akalla mu san AI, mu san da za mu yi amfani da AI a cikin teaching and learning method namu da kuma sauran aspect na rayuwarmu, not just teaching and learning. Then, as a way of overview, workshop namu zai covering what AI is all about, definition AI, da kuma little background on AI, what types of AI tools, generative AI, prompt engineering, AI in modern teaching and learning, conclusion, and then it will follow up with a recommendation. So, what is AI? We all know AI. Kowa an ce mishi AI za mu ce ai ChatGPT. We all know ChatGPT as AI. We all know what ChatGPT. But literally tunda wannan makaranta ne muke so mu ƙara ma juna sani, ya kamata mu san hakikanin me shi kanshi wannan AI ɗin, ko kuma me shi kanshi artificial intelligence ɗin nan da ake cewa. So mun san artificial intelligence muna cewa a system that perform tasks needing human intelligence. Duk wani computer namu, a tarihi da kwamfutocin da muke amfani da su ana ce musu task specific ko kuma rule based. Duk abin da kwamfuta namu yake yi, ina maganar kwamfuta ne kafin AI. Duk abin da kwamfuta namu yake, wadda calculator namu ko duk abin da computers namu suke yi, they are task specific, they are rule based. Abin da muke nufi shine duk abin da kwamfuta ke yi, an riga an gaya mishi. Already an riga an mishi programming ya yi wannan abun. Misali yanzu ka ɗauko calculator ka danna 1 plus 1 zai ce maka 2. Already programmer ya riga ya gaya mishi cewa duk sanda aka ce maka 1 plus 1 ka ce 2. Duk sanda aka ce maka 1 times 2 ka ce 2. So duk wani abun da ke cikin computer already an riga an programming nashi. So shi sa ake ce mishi menene task specific. Duk abin da kwamfutocin mu suke yi, duk abin da wani digital equipment namu suke yi, already an riga an gaya musu. So za mu ga computer namu, inda za a nuna mana code da aka yi programming na computer, za ka ga hundreds of millions of lines of code aka sa. Kuma idan ka zo ka tambaye shi abin da ba a gaya mishi ba, zai zo ce maka syntax error, saboda wannan ilimin ba a gaya mishi ba. So as time goes on, sai aka fara tunanin why not madadin a dinga gaya mishi duk abin da zai yi, in an ce ma kaza kaza, in an ce ma kaza kaza, saboda at the end of the day an ba a ce mishi ba bai san abin da zai faɗa ba. So why not I adopting intelligence na ɗan adam. Dan adam baya buƙatar ka sanar da shi komi, in an ce ma kaza ka ce kaza, in an ce a'a, yana amfani da ilimin da ya sani na baya ne saboda ya dinga making decision yanzu. So shine aka fara tunanin me zai sa ba za a yi amfani da ilimin dan adam ba, madadin a dinga gaya mishi abin da zai yi, to a koya mishi shi ma ya koya mana. Kamar yadda dan adam inda aka haife shi yake koyan yare, ya koyi abubuwa da kanshi, in ya zo sai ya samu abubuwan da zai dinga yi da kanshi. So the same thing, that's just the concept. Kamar yadda ɗan adam ke tunani, madadin a gaya ma kwamfuta abin da zai saka ce to a dinga ba kwamfuta dama shi ma ya koya kamar ɗan adam. So abin da yake responsible, wanda suke malaman biology za su sani, neurons ko a ƙwaƙwalwa shi ne yake responsible na wannan koyan abin nan din. Saboda haka sai aka ƙirƙiri wannan neurons din. Biologists sun sani ana cewa there are billions of neurons da ke cikin ƙwaƙwalwarmu. So the same thing, sai aka ƙirƙiri wannan artificial neurons din. Wannan abin da ke ba ɗan ajin intelligence wanda Allah ya halicce shi da shi, sai aka ƙirƙira irin shi sai aka samu kwamfuta. Sai ya zama yanzu kwamfuta madadin a dinga gaya mishi abin da zai yi gabaki ɗaya, so shi ma a bashi dama ya koya irin ɗan adam. So duk wani shine wannan genesis na AI kenan. Artificial ɗin kenan, man-made intelligence ɗin ɗan adam sai aka create nashi artificially aka samu kwamfuta. That's just the concept. So mostly muna cewa da an ce mana AI za mu ce ChatGPT, da an ce mana AI za mu ce ChatGPT. So tunda koya muke, bari mu samu basic classification na AI. AI is too broad. Within AI muna da subfield, muna da subdivisions, saboda AI, kamar misali yanzu, kewa muke da AI a cikin wayoyinmu, muna da Google Assistant. Misali muna da Siri for iPhones, muna da Google Assistant, muna da recognition systems, muna da self-driving cars, face recognition a wayanmu. Duk waɗannan abubuwan dukansu da all AI recommendation systems. Mutum ko ya ɗi ko ya so, in dai kana amfani da waya, dole at one point or the other ka yi amfani da AI. Kai in dai kana da Facebook account ma, ka buɗe Facebook account za ka yi amfani da AI. Saboda yau idan ka kalli video a Facebook ko a YouTube ko a TikTok, an jima kana buɗewa irin waɗannan bidiyon da ka kalla irin shi TikTok ko Facebook za su ta kawo maka irin shi wannan ana ce mishi ne recommendation systems. So shi ma wannan AI ne. AI yana koyan abin da ka fi so. So duk in ka shiga shi ma sai ya dinga kawo maka YouTube waɗannan dukkan su they are all recommended. So duka waɗannan they are AI. So we are all surrounded by AI ko ta ko ina. So the point is AI is like the big house. Under AI, muna da machine learning, which form largest part of AI. Under machine learning, akwai abin da ake ce ma deep learning. Under deep learning, akwai abin da ake ce ma generative AI. Generative AI shine AI ɗin da suke daman generating abubuwa da kansu kamar su text, images, kamar su ChatGPT. Then under ChatGPT, akwai abin da ake ce ma LLMs, that is large language models. Then under LLMs ne muke da su ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, da duk waɗannan da muka sani. So the point is, AI is like a university. In muka ɗauki university, akwai let's say a cikin university akwai postgraduate session, akwai undergraduate. A cikin undergraduate, akwai faculties. We can have faculty of education, faculty of arts, faculty of engineering, faculty of medicine. Then within faculty, for example, faculty of science, we still have life science and physical sciences. Under physical sciences, we can have chemistry, physics. So what I'm trying to say, saying GPT, in aka ce maka AI, sai ka ce ChatGPT, so it's like you are narrowing the whole scope of AI. ChatGPT in AI is like a department within the university. That's just the whole concept I want us to get about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is just a model. Suna ne ko aka bashi. Mu ma kanmu iya Alu, we can create our own. Mu kira shi Alu GPT or GPT Alu ko ma menene mu bashi suna. So it's just a model, a subdivision of AI. So it's not the whole AI. AI is a big university on its own. And so let's dive into what AI is all about by scope. So akwai abin da ake ce ma weak ko kuma narrow AI. AI guda uku muke da shi, ko kuma ce scope of AI guda uku muke da shi. Akwai narrow ko kuma weak, akwai strong ko kuma general, akwai kuma abin da ake ce ma super, that is super intelligence AI. So weak AI, duk wani AI da muka sani so far, duk motocin da suke tuka kansu, face recognition system da muke da shi, robots da muke da su har da su robot Sophia, wanda isa robot Sophia, no matter how intelligent are duk machines da muke da shi yanzu, duk abubuwan da muka sani na AI, dukansu they fall under what is called narrow AI ko kuma weak AI. They are all weak AI. Generative AI ɗin nan shi kan shi wanda muke gani, that is GPT ɗin nan, even though they are a little advanced, amma su kansu ana ce musu they fall under narrow AI. Duk da dai wasu suna ganin shi a matsayin first stage na strong AI. But the expectation is this: at strong AI level, ana expecting AI system namu, robot namu, computer namu su zama suna da the same thinking capacity, the same ability kamar yadda ɗan adam ke tunani, ya zama da su ma haka computers namu suke tunani. A strong AI kenan. Shi yasa wasu suke ganin cewa su GPT ɗin that is generative AI su ne first stage, that is matakin farko kenan na strong AI. Amma wasu kuma ne suna ganin cewa no, har yanzu su ma suna part of narrow AI ne, ba amma riga an sha kwan mabanta na a fara tafiya. So the expectation shine a strong AI zai fara tunani, ba wai tunani kamar da GPT, zai zama yana da emotions. Yanzu mun tabbata cewa GPT yana tunani kamar dan adam probably, amma bai da emotions, bai da feelings. Din da dan adam bai san wani tausayi ko wani abu nan ba. Amma at a point da muke ciki, which is the current area of research, ana tunanin cewa AI su ma za su zama suna da menene emotions, kamar da dan adam suna da tausayi, suna jin tausayin mutum, suna da feelings kamar yadda dan adam suke da shi. So at that stage shi ake ce menene strong AI, and we are fast approaching wannan stage currently. Then next stage na AI wanda ake ce super AI, super intelligence AI, which is just theoretical. Theory ne, but definitely we are getting there. And this super AI is very, very scary. Why are we telling all this story? Saboda kamar wannan makaranta muka zo, kamar da na faɗa, muna ƙara mu juna sani ne. So ya kamata mu gane background ɗin AI ɗin nan. This AI is actually very scary. Saboda super intelligence AI at this stage, ana expecting AI they will surpass human intellect. AI za su fi kwamfutocinmu da machines ɗinmu da robots ɗin nan za su fi mutane kwakwalwa, za su fi mutane tunani, za su fi mutane komai da muka sani. So at that time they will start inventing new knowledge, they will start doing research and development, they will start their own planetary abubuwan da mu kanmu abin da ɗan adam bai iya yi ba. su a lokacin ana expecting za a same shi a super AI. But the scary part of it, which is very true, duk wani wanda yake into AI ya san wannan. There is problem with super AI. Problem ɗin shine ana tsoron a lokacin me garantin cewa AI ɗin nan ba za su turning against human race ba. Kamar kai ne ka haifi ɗa, AI is like ka haifi ɗa ne, ana rainon shi. Kai yanzu muna level ɗin da muke rainon AI ne. Muna rainon shi, muna koya mishi ga abin da ya dace ga abin da bai dace ba. Amma zai kai level ɗin da ɗan nan da ka raine shi zai yi girma har ya zo ya kai level ɗin da ya fi ka ƙarfi. So a level ɗin da ya fi ka ƙarfi ɗin nan ya fi ka wayo, ya fi ka tunani, yana da daman ya zaɓi abin da ya ga dama. In ya ga dama zai yi turning against you. In AI suka gama a super AI za su iya wifing gaba ɗaya human race. In suka ga dama za su iya developing weapon ɗin da duk 'yan adam gaba ki ɗaya su mutu within a second. So we're not here for theory, actually we're here for use of generative AI. So like we said, we have generative AI. Generative AI shine AI ɗin da yake iya creating new content kamar yadda muka sani, kamar su text, images, questions, lesson plan, explanation, blah blah, abubuwa dai da yawa da muka sani. And the most popular types of this AI da muke da su, kowa ya sani, is ChatGPT. So muna da AI da yawa, kamfanoni da yawa suna yi, kamar da na ce mu ma iya Alu, we can develop our own large language model, we name it nashi Alu Chat. Like this ChatGPT commonly is developed by a company called OpenAI. Then we have Gemini. Gemini is Google. Companies that Google suke developing Gemini. We have Copilot. Copilot, Microsoft, right? Microsoft is developing Copilot. So we have DeepSeek. DeepSeek is one Chinese company called DeepSeek. So there are a lot of them. There are Groks. There are a lot of large language model mana da su da yawa. There are Hugging Chat, su Cloud, su Kasusunan, su Llama, a lot of them. Kasusunan da yawa. Sai wanda mutum ya amfani da shi. But for the sake of gama na WhatsApp wanda muka fi sani Meta AI, right? So dukansu they are all available. But for sake of this class, let me amfani the most popular one, which is ChatGPT. We are going to make use of ChatGPT for the sake of this presentation, which is the most popular AI system that makes sense. So now I will stop at this point. Let's explore the features of ChatGPT. We all know what ChatGPT is all about. Send the ChatGPT okay. We all know this. We have mobile version of ChatGPT. Sannan muna da web version. Amma dai abin da ke ciki iri ɗaya ne. Abin da yake a cikin computer nan, the same thing web version namu ma abin da zamu gani kenan idan mun buɗe. So we are going to start with the features na ChatGPT. Assumption ɗin shine kusan dukkan mu nan dai ba mu buƙatar mu je mu nuna yadda ake creating account da ChatGPT ko wannan. Na san cewa kusan dukkan mu nan muna da account na ChatGPT. The only thing maybe, just like I said, let me exploring what are the features da muke da shi a ChatGPT ne kawai. So ChatGPT is one of the premium version. Mun san akwai AI da suke paid version, akwai free versions, akwai kuma premium. Premium shine wanda yake da both paid and free versions. So ChatGPT is the most popular one. Kamar yadda muka sani, this is where we type whatever we want. So, but before starting the real prompt, let's start. We can see this plus button. We can see two buttons here, right? Let's start by exploring these buttons. We can all see. Sorry. So we have attach photos and files. We have add from what? Google Drive. We have create image. We have thinking. We have deep, and we still have more. So we all know this feature. This is what? Attach photo and file. This is when you have a document. Maybe if you want to attach a document, a note, a textbook, a journal paper, a picture, whatever you want to. In dai kana da shi a cikin computer, kana da shi a cikin wayan, kana so kai attaching ne, sai ka ce ma GPT ya maka, ko maybe zai iya zama littafi yake so maka summarizing, ko kuma note naka ne na aji, kake so maka explaining wani guri, ko kuma a'a wani question ne ka kasa solvawa, kai snapping question ɗin kake so kai mishi uploading. So duk waɗannan abu, duk wani abu da ke da shi already a ajiye, za ka yi uploading. This is where you click on. This is where you can attach your file. If you click on attach, it will open the document. You browse through your computer or your phone and look for the file. You look for the file and ask. We're not going to attach anyone. I'm just trying to explain the features for now. You look for it, attach it, and ask whatever question you want to ask. It could be a PDF, Word file, Excel, PowerPoint, or a picture. Then this is what add from Google Drive. Maybe you have a file in kuma na cikin Google Drive na we all know what Google Drive is all about. Clouds space da muke saving abubuwan mu. So all you need to do is to add the link. So zai retrieving file in from Google Drive. Then this is what create image. This is where we create image. If you want to create an image using GPT, all you need to do is what come to create image, and you give your prompts. Describe how you want your image to look like. GPT zai ma creating image. Then this is what thinking. This is when you need GPT namu to think critically before giving you an answer. At times in ka tambaye shi, GPT will just give you a surface answer. But if you want him to think critically and verify the answers, because kafin su enabling wannan feature din, there was a lot of hallucination da ke faruwa. Zaka iya tambayan GPT abu zai baka abin da ba daidai ba. So, amma with this critical thinking yanzu, wannan abubuwan ya yi reducing drastically. So, if you want GPT to think and verify the information kafin ya baka, then you can click on thinking. At times, let me show you something on DeepSeek. DeepSeek has better thinking ability. Saboda idan muka yi amfani da DeepSeek gurin thinking nashi, shi zai nuna mana ma. Because at times, if you ask GPT question, you need to know abin da ke mind naka shine yake mind in AI din. So idan ka using GPT, this is DeepSeek, one of the AI da muka faɗa. So in muka yi amfani da DeepSeek, in gani DeepSeek has something called deep think. Dai abin da ka ce mishi idan ka yi amfani da deep think din nan zai nuna maka abin da yake tunani, abin da ke mind nashi, yanda ya analyzing question din. So sai ka gani, let me say, define now. Na riga na enabling thinking. So you see, this is thinking. This is not the answer. Wannan abin da yake rubuta mana ba answer ɗin abin nan namu. Mun ga answer na a ƙasa. So amma wannan yana nuna mana yanda yake tunani ne. Mun ga yana ganin the user asks for a definition of noun, which is a fundamental grammar concept. The query, so wannan abin zai nuna maka yanda model ɗin ya analyzing question naka kafin ya amsa maka. Amma wannan feature ɗin DeepSeek ne kawai ke da shi ke nuna ba. ChatGPT ba zai nuna maka ba, zai yi tunani ɗin ne kawai sai ya respond, amma ba zai nuna maka tunanin da ya ba. Then the next thing is what? Shopping research. One is more of when you want to buy something online, kana so kai comparing in terms of quality na abubuwa da yawa, then use shopping online. Then we still have more. Then we have more. This is what? Study and learn. This is when you want to learn new concepts. Maybe kana so ka koyi wani sabon ilimi. Let's say as a teacher, there are skills that you need to learn. And akwai skills da yawa da ba a koyarwa a makaranta. But GPT is your best teacher. So if you want to learn something, a skill, it will involve zai baka step by step na koyan abu, yana engaging naka with activities and quiz. So this is suitable for learning, even though Gemini shi ma yana da wani feature na learning da ya ɗan fi na ChatGPT. Then another thing is website. Mun san kamar yadda muka faɗa, GPT ko kuma large language models in general suna da abin da ake ce ma kamar, let me say, knowledge bank nasu, kamar kwakwalwansu kenan, inda aka tara musu ilimin da ke ciki duka. So idan ka tambaye su abin da babu shi a cikin ilimin nasu kuma, tunda shi wannan in ka tambaye GPT ba yana zuwa online ne je maka amsa irin Google ba, no, yana amfani da wannan abin da ya sani, abin da aka koyar da shi, abin da ya koya, sai ya fitar maka da ansa. So what if abin da ka tambaye shi babu shi a cikin abin da ya koya? So therefore you have to go to the web and search. So this is where web search comes in. Wannan zai searching through web ne. So this goes beyond abin da kaman kai ne an koya maka abu sai aka zo aka tambaye ka abin da baka sani ba. Kai zaka ce baka sani ba, simply an gama, saboda baka taba coming across wannan abun ba a rayuwanka. So shi GPT ba zai ce maka bai sani ba. The only thing da zai yi shine zai tafi web search, sai je ya nema wannan abun. Yana neman wannan abun zai je koya, zai je ya gani sannan sai baka response. Then another thing we have is what is Canvas. So Canvas shi na ba mu dama mu iya editing response namu, not just the prompt. Misali in muka ce mishi define now. Mun ce mishi define now. With Canva, zai define kuma we can still have chance. Can we see? So with this, muna ganin screen din ba?
muna gani, amma can you come back again about that Canva?
Okay, sorry. So na ce with Canva gashi nan misali. Canva shi yana ba mu dama mai editing prompts namu har da response namu, not just prompts. Kamar yanzu wannan gashi na ce mishi muna define what is a noun. Gashi ya ce a noun is a word that names blah blah. So if you want to edit wannan answer da ya baka, then it's only with the use of Canva za mu iya. Yanzu da mun ce edit zai ba mu dama. Yanzu child din nan gashi you can delete it. So Canva shi yana ba mu dama ne mai editing response namu da muke da shi already. But without, in baka so ka editing nashi without Canva, response da ChatGPT ya baka, you can only edit it idan kai copy in ka je ka sa shi a maybe Microsoft Word or something of that nature. But if you want to edit Canva, if you want to edit response in da GPT ya bamu, then you have to enable Canvas. So shi abin da Canvas din yake kenan. Then the next one is what? This is your GPT, your AI GPT. One is just giving you a summary of your life based on your conversation nashi da kuka yi over the years. So zai gaya maka blah 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 blah. Wannan. So this is more like a personal feature. Then this is what? Explore apps. There are something we call custom GPTs. In muka zo nan gaba za mu magana akan custom GPTs. So and at times waɗannan abubuwan you don't need to select them. The model is smart enough ya gane wa misali yanzu in kana so ka creating picture, not necessarily ba sai ka zo ka ce mishi kai selecting picture ba. Idan kai selecting picture din is fine. Amma ko ba kai selecting picture ba, idan in misali a cikin prompt naka ka ce mishi create a picture of, so kaga automatically zai activating image din, zai activating image yayi abin da kanshi. Kuma the same thing idan ka tambaye shi abin da bai sani ba, nan da nan zai je ya gaya maka ya ce maka ya tafi online, sorry. Yanzu misali ChatGPT bai san wani abu a iya alu ba, amma in maka tambaye shi iya alu zai tafi web. Yanzu in na tambaye shi yanzu, tell me about iya alu, sorry, iya alu Memorial School Zaria. A cikin kwakwalwar GPT bai san me iya alu ba, amma kuma menene, saboda haka straight ba sai mun gaya mishi web ba, bari mu gani me zai ce mana. Can you see searching the web? Automatically ya activating web din. So kun gani, this is what GPT knows about iya alu. He said here is what I could find about iya alu blah blah blah. Iya alu summarily it is registered under the dictionary in Zaria blah blah. So this is an example of what web din. So this is your registration number and everything. This is what GPT could find online with respect to iya alu. Ko mu tambaye shi wa principal din ne mu gani. Then we have these features guda biyu. Like if you are lazy, like me yanzu, idan kana so kai prompt, maybe you don't want to type, you can use this speaker. You can use this button na farko. Sai ka clicking. So it's more like audio recognition wannan ne. So if you click on this, you just speak over your microphone. Baka bukatan kai ka sa hannu kai type. Maybe kana kwance, you feel lazy. So all you need to do kawai zaka danna wannan abun ne. Yanzu idan muka danna. Can you see Microsoft abun din namu is ready. So but let me just cancel this and show you again. Summarize it in 2 paragraphs. Can you see? I say summarize it in 2 paragraphs. Kun ga ya riga rubuta mana. So all you need to do is to check. Idan abun da ka faɗa daidai ne, shikenan. Sai ka danna okay. You send it. And now he will summarize iya alu da na faɗa in 2 paragraphs. Kun san is a conversation. GPT conversation ake da shi. Hira za ku dinga yi da shi based on duk abin da ka gaya mishi a sama, idan ka dinga mishi magana, he will be making reference with abin da ka faɗa mishi. So it's like you're having a conversation with him. So you can see ya riga canza mana wannan abin zuwa wannan. Then this one, wannan kuma last one, shi is a voice mode. Idan kana so ku hira da ChatGPT ne, baka buƙatar rubutun komi, you just want to chat audio. Shi ma in zai reply maka ya maka reply in audio. Maybe you have a problem, kuma dai menene, kana so ku yi magana da shi one on one. Kai magana shi ma ya magana kamar abokinka one on one. Then you click on that voice note. and you start a conversation with GPT. For example, yanzu, hello GPT,
Hello, how can I assist you today?
please, I have a lot of problem.
Of course, I'm here to help. Feel free to let me know what the problem is, and I'll do my best to assist you.
You see, I'm a teacher. I'm depressed. I'm paying from one paycheck to another, and I need a motivation.
I'm really sorry to hear that you're feeling this way. Teaching can be incredibly challenging, and it's understandable to feel overwhelmed at times. Remember that your dedication and impact on your students are truly meaningful.
Don't pamper
Uh,
me. Just be honest.
I appreciate your honesty, and I understand how tough it can be. Teaching is a demanding profession, and it's completely normal to feel drained or unmotivated at times. It's important to reach out for support when you need it, whether that's from colleagues, friends, or professional
Let
resources.
me end. So, like, when you're tired of being of the conversation, now we can come. You can talk and talk. So you don't need to type. You don't need to like just one in one voice conversation. That is the feature of this last one. So I think so these are the basic features that make it a shoe na GPT for now. And then the advantage is in mastering one large language model is the same with almost all of them. Yanzu in ka je DeepSeek kusan the same thing ne. Idan muka je za mu yi amfani da Gemini, sorry, Gemini, almost the same thing. Idan muka je za mu yi amfani da Copilot. So they are almost the same thing. You can see the same features with Gemini. You can see upload, llama, blah blah. So they almost have the same feature. If you need a fast response, if you need thinking pro, kasu sunan kala kala. But they are all similar. All you need to, if you master one, zaka yi mastering dukansu baka bukatan komi. So after introducing the features in AI, this brings us to the main subject of the day. Main subject of the day: prompting. What is prompting? Because as long as you want to harness the power of AI, dole sai ka san me ake ce ma prompting. Dole sai mun san me ake ma prompting. We all think we know how to use AI. Saboda amma matsalar muna amfani da AI kamar Google ne. Google is a search engine. AI kuma ba haka bane. AI yana buƙatar deep conversation. AI yana buƙatar ka bashi enough details na abin da kake buƙata. Unlike Google idan ka bashi details da yawa ma gurin neman information, Google will be confused. Saboda shi search engine ne kawai zai je duba available wannan ne ya gaya maka. Shi ko GPT yana buƙatan ka bashi detailed information na duk abin da kake buƙata as much as possible. In ka gara ma, you can make your prompt. Okay, sorry. Let's define what prompt. We say prompt is simply what you tell the AI. Abin da kake so ka gaya, yanzu in ka ce ma AI define noun, wani abin da ka ce mishi ake ce ma prompting. Define noun din nan shi ake ce ma prompting. What you tell AI to do, shi ake ce ma prompting. And prompt engineering is very, very important. In fact, it's everything about AI in general. If you learn the master of prompting, you learn the master of everything. That is why prompting is very, very important. So if you're a good prompt engineer, then you are among the less than 10% of the population of the world. So, let me move by the example what are good prompts and bad prompts. For example, somebody can ask GPT, explain fraction. Definitely, if you say explain fraction, GPT will explain fraction for you. Let me even give you an example. When we ask GPT to explain fraction, explain fraction. GPT will definitely explain fraction for us. You see, fraction is a way of showing blah blah. This is it. But now let's look at the good prompt. A good prompt engineer will say what? As a secondary school mathematics teacher, explain fraction to JSS2 students using simple examples. Ko ba mu tura wannan abun ba kai kanka ka san ansan da zaka samu da wancan explain fraction da kuma amsan da zamu samu da wannan ba ɗaya bane. This is the power of what? Of prompting. For example, bari mu sa wannan second abu na din magana zamu samu. What are we going to get? Sorry, let me copy it. Let me copy this. So now, the second one says what? As a secondary school mathematics teacher, explain fraction to JSS2 students using simple examples. You can see. Unlike before, which is just few lines, fraction is a way of showing a part of a whole. But this one, since you say is a what? JSS2 students say a fraction is a way of showing part of a whole. It tells us how many parts of something. So you see, you can have clear example. You can have an example using chocolate bar, example using pizza, example using. So you have a lot of things. You can see clearly that the details are not enough, and it's even showing you what font tip, how to make it lively because is not even primary school. So you can have a lot of things. This is just simple prompt. With simple prompt, you can see. So shi yasa zamu ga mutane da yawa suna amfani da GPT, amma za a baku assignment iri ɗaya, kowa yanda ka sa mishi yanda zai baka answer. At the end of the day za ku ga cewa score naku ba ɗaya ba. So another example is what? Somebody can just say set questions on Newton's first law. Or you can say set exam question on Newton's first law. But somebody that is good at prompting, zai ce, as a secondary school physics teacher, create 5 SS2 level assessment question on Newton's first law, 2 multiple choice, 2 short answers, and 1 real life application questions with answers provided. So obviously, ba sai mun faɗa ba, mun san wanda ya yi wancan na farko da wanda ya yi na biyun nan ba za su samu answer iri ɗaya ba. Well, the same answer, the same Newton's law ake tambaya. So why prompting matters, just like we say is large language models, they are garbage in, garbage out. Whatever ka ba su za su baka. Idan ka yi prompting mai kyau za ka samu answer mai kyau. Idan ka yi bad prompting shi ma za ka samu bad result. So AI respond exactly what you ask. Poor prompts give poor results. And the beauty of it, though muna using English as language of instruction din, large language models suna jin kowane yare. Za ka iya kana magana ka da shi kamar da magana da Hausa ko da Larabci ko da Yarbanci, duk wani yaren da ka fi ji large language model kusan duk yaren da ke duniya yanzu yana ji. And you can talk to him in any language, zai maka responding. You can write automatically, kana magana daga wannan language ma kai switching zuwa another language in. This large language models has the ability to understand language inda kake switching ba tare da ka gaya musu ba. So the best thing we need to understand now is element of a good prompting. What does a good prompting need? And this is what matters most in GPT. If you can master this element of 5 good prompting, then you're good to go. And you're among the best 10% of AI users. So what are these elements? We say a good prompt has 5 parts. Prompt kana buƙatar ka samu optimal result. Is like jarabawa kai. Me zai sa ka ci C in har za ka iya cin A a cikin course ɗin? Me zai sa ka ci C ko D in har za ka iya cin A? So you can only get optimal result, or you can only get one A ɗin da muke magana a prompting idan ka mastering prompting. So number 1 is what? Role. Henceforth, mun san cewa is very very important duk in za mu tambayi AI mu ba shi role. Me role ɗin? Wa kake so ya acting? Me kake tambaya? Do you want him to act as a teacher? Idan teacher ɗin ne na wani level, wani aji kake koyarwa, wannan shi ake ce ma role. Idan kana buƙatan tarihi ne, tell him to act as a historian. Idan kana buƙatan wani lecture, tell him to act as a professor. In kana buƙatan wani advice, tell him to act as a counselor. Whatever you want him to act, duk wani abin da kake buƙatan kai aiki akan shi, so tell him to act as wannan abin da shi ake ce ma role. So you should always try to give AI role a prompt namu. Then the next one is text. Text din nan mostly mu abin da muke amfani da shi kenan. Muna ignore remaining 4 parts of elements na prompting, sai mu je kan text and specifically. Kawai mu ce define now. That's just the text. Now idan kana so, you have to give him role. Then the audience. Wa kake so kai define ma wannan abubuwan? Yanzu in ka ce mishi maka define now to tell him as an English, as maybe basic 2 English teacher, or as an English teacher, define now to basic 2. You see, the audience is what? Basic 2 student. So always ka san waye audience, who are the audience? Yan SS ne, a'a yan jami'a ne, undergraduate ne, a'a layman ne wanda ke kan hanya bai sani ba, a'a HJs, ko ma wani level suke, that is the audience. Idan kai ne ka ce mishi kai kanka ne ka faɗi level ɗin kanka. So that is the audience. Saboda GPT will narrow it down to level ɗin understanding naka. Then the format, how will you want it to be? Maybe idan questions are, do you want it to be in a tabular form? Do you want it to be OBJ with answers A to D, sorry? Idan do you want it to be maybe multiple choice, fill in the gap? Ko essay, wannan format ɗin ne, you define the format ɗin da kake bukatan question naka ya zama, ko kuma amsan ka ya zama. Then the last one is the tone. Which language do you want it to use? Kana so ya amfani da friendly language ne? Kana so ya amfani da formal language ne? Maybe you are drafting an email. Idan formal letter kake bukata, tell him to use a formal language. Idan kana so kai abu ne, tell him to use simple language. Tell him to be friendly. So wannan tone ɗin ma is very, very important. So if we can master these 5 elements of prompting, then we are good to go. We will have time harnessing effective response daga GPT namu. Then in summary, we can have this formula using the 5 prompts. The same design me prompts ma GPT. Henceforth ya kamata ya zama ne act as, then say masa first one role. Misali, act as an English teacher, act as a mathematics teacher, teaching blah blah. Then create, that is where the second task comes. Create a lesson plan, create questions, exam question, create this is the task. 4, you give it the audience, which class, which level, in which format, using which tone. So these are the basic, this is the formula that we can use. Kodi yaushe idan zamu prompting namu. For example, now zamu iya ce mishi act as a secondary school mathematics teacher. Can you see? The first one is the role. Create a 40-minute lesson. Can we see? That is the task. You should create a 40-minute lesson plan or linear equation for JSS3 using simple language. So you can see all the 5 elements da suke wannan mun riga mun capture nasu a ciki. So if we can use this formula in our prompting, then we can have effective outputs. We can have optimal results. Lokacin da zamu ga amsan mu da AI da ya zama daban. Za ka ga yanzu kana rubutu, kana rubutu kana gama wani zai ce maka wannan AI generated answer ne. Why? Because we are using generic form. We are not using these 5 elements. In muna amfani da generic form na AI. So therefore, kowa na gani zai iya cewa wannan is AI generated answer. But when you master these 5 elements, when you master this formula, there is no way answer ka zai zama generic. You are going to have a custom answer. Ba wanda zaka yi wani abu da AI ka bashi ya ce maka wannan AI da AI akai. No, bai sai gane ba. Saboda you are not using the generic terms. So here comes to our business of the day. How are we going to use AI in modern teaching and learning? So basically, abin da zamu yi anan gun kawai zamu duba some specific prompts, some specific examples da zamu yi amfani da shi gurin enhancing teaching and learning namu. For example, AI is a very good planner. Very extremely. See, AI is like best in everything. Duk wani abu da muke so mu yi a rayuwa, we should know that AI is an expert at that field. Abin da ya kamata mu yi. So AI is the best planner. Amma output namu ya danganta ne daga prompt da muka bashi. Just like we say garbage in, garbage out. So in muka bashi prompt mai kyau, we are going to have a very good planning. So for example, we say AI can generate a structured lesson plan aligned with objectives. You can design your structured lesson plan using AI. For example, this is prompt namu da ke containing all the 5 elements. You can ask him, instead of saying kawai give me a lesson plan on the topic photosynthesis. Sorry, za mu dinga amfani da photosynthesis throughout our prompt example. Well, I'm not being biased, kawai dai photosynthesis ɗin ya fi abun nan ne. So, for example, when you say act as a secondary school teacher, rather than saying kawai design a lesson plan for photosynthesis, you can, as a good prompt engineer, or as a good AI engineer, zaka ce menene, act as a secondary school science teacher. Create a 40-minute lesson plan on photosynthesis for JSS3 using simple language. Because idan ba mai specify mishi waɗannan abubuwan ba, at the end of the day zai amfani da generic language ne, zai amfani da language, probably ba zai amfani da British ba. At times we need to specify British English muke bukata. So let me even show you yanzu in muka sa wannan prompt din a GPT. In muka sa wannan prompt din a GPT, sorry. Let me copy the prompt from here and take it to GPT. You see, act as a secondary school science teacher, create a 40-minute blah blah blah, and now send it. Sorry. So can you see? This is a structured lesson plan. Subject science, class this 3, topic photosynthesis, duration 5 minutes, learning objectives. By the end of the blah blah, you can see lesson content, lesson activities 1, 2, blah blah. So this is what? Assessment at the end of the day. So you can see, rather than saying kawai bani prompt on photosynthesis or create a lesson plan on photosynthesis, which is zai baka lame option ne. And so you can use structured prompt using all the 5 elements da ake bukata, just like this one. So you can even go further. Idan prompt namu ya abin da muke bukata prompt namu ya wuce wannan, we can go further by telling him to. You can go further and expand abubuwan da muke bukata. For example, you can tell him this. This is another prompt. And duka zai create a lesson plan. You say, you are an experienced secondary school science teacher with 15 years of classroom experience. Create a weekly lesson plan for secondary school biology on the topic photosynthesis. The class has 35 students aged 14 to 15 with mixed ability levels, and lessons are 45 minutes each. Use the structure, objective, warm-up activity, main teaching content, practical activity, assessment, homework. Present the plan in a table with columns for time, activity, material, and notes. Keep the tone encouraging and practical, focusing on realistic, easy to implement activity. So you can believe me cewa yanzu idan muka adding wannan prompt in zai ba mu answer fiye da wannan prompt in. Let's give an example. Let's copy this prompt and see. Sorry. So let's paste this prompt muga bambancin su. Remember, mun ce mishi samu in a structured table. Okay. Take your time. Abdulaziz. Ka cika min gaban screen. Can we continue? Za mu iya ci gaba? Okay, so as I was saying, sorry, let me cancel this completely. You don't need this. So you can see the prompt there, we're using this advanced prompt. Look at it. I'm going to create in a what? In a table, in a tabular form. And look at the time, activity, material. So what we're saying is exactly in the GPT prompt. Can you see? Had the time frame from 0 to 5 minutes. First minute should be objectives. 5 to 10 minutes should be what? Warm-up activities. Blah blah blah. So if you don't want it in a tabular form, then you remove in tabular form. If you don't want it in a when a timestamp, you can tell him to remove the timestamp. A lot of things. Misali yanzu zan iya ce mishi remove the table and maybe timestamp. Let's say I don't want all these 0 to 5 minutes, 10 to 5 minutes, and just tell him to remove the table and the timestamp. So he will remove it and draft a new. Can you see? So I'm going to zoom in some instruction now in a what? Remember, I'm going to a week never, but corner. So therefore, say the 1, the 2, the 3. Can you see? Saboda ya san cewa week has 5 days. So ya ba mu day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So this is how you keep on conversating with AI. So the point is, the quality of prompt now is what gives the quality of the output. So you can see, you can design and how you want your lesson plan to be, what is expected based on your standard now, yeah, no, objectives, age, whether in paragraph, in tabular form, koya kake bukata, and the end of the day. So that is it. So not just lesson plan, duk wani abu da kake bukatan kai planning a rayuwanka ne, wani task kake so ka completing in 1 week ko menene, you can come to GPT. The only thing is what? Structure your prompt impressively, and human GPT zai baka impressive answers. So now, that's for planning. Next is what? Differentiated learning. Differentiated learning. AI can simplify anything. Just like we say we have formats, we have tone. At times, kai ka san level ɗin 'yan ajinka. Maybe idan Allah ya blessing naka da masu kwakwalwa irin nawa da ke yan class. So kaga level ɗin da za ka yi da masu ganewa ba ɗaya ba ne. So whatever you are prompting, if it has to do with class activities, za ka iya gaya ma GPT ɗin cewa this is the level of your students, maybe low learners ne, ko kuma layman. That layman is very, very important when you want to understand basic na abu. Just simply tell him again maka using layman language. We say AI can simplify or advance content based on student level. This is a prompt da yake hada duka uku. We say you are a primary school teacher teaching basic science to primary 4 pupil. Explain photosynthesis using very simple language and everyday example. A full stop din da ma idan muka tsaya zai ba mu abin da muke bukata. Amma kuma if you want to differentiate ya zama na mun customizing activities namu, za mu iya karawa mu ce mishi what? Differentiate your explanation into 3 levels. Maybe idan level da yake bukata kawai za ka iya ce mishi ne differentiate your explanation into, sai ka sa mai slow learners level ko kuma beginners level. But wannan is general for the 3 of them. Differentiate your explanation into 3 levels. For slow learners, for average learners, and for fast learners. So in muka sa wannan prompt, let's get this prompt. And then go back to our GPT. Can you see? I'm sorry. So in muka gana mama, we can remove this explanation. Mbashi kawai for kare me confusing kan mu da yawa. So let's just leave it for slow learners, average learners, fast learners. So kan mu describing abun nan. Shi da kanshi zai gane what are slow learners, abun da slow learners suke bukata da kuma abun da average learners suke bukata da kuma abun da fast learners suke bukata. Sai muka ce end with one simple activity suitable for each group. So kaga the same topic ne, amma kuma yadda zaka koya ma kowane student daban. So if we send this prompt now, can you see? He said for slow learners. He said photosynthesis is a green plant. Photosynthesis is how green plants makes their food. Plant uses sunlight, blah blah blah. You see, this is an example. Think of a plant like a little chef. The sun is the stove, and then he's using what? Normal activities that Makasa in the Gida going explaining to what? A very slow learner. This is the activities. This is for average learner. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants. You see, this is for average learners. She slow learner, they don't get me when green plants is how process based on abu. So the same thing with fast learners. It's a process by which green plant, blah blah blah. Think of it as a solar powered kitchen, blah blah. So this is it, and there is an activities at the end of each one suitable to their level. So always, especially when you are learning something new, in the we should start from scratch. Idan zaka koyi wani abun da baka da ilimi akan shi, tell him that you don't have any prior knowledge akan wannan abun. Yanda zai structuring abun daban da kuma wanda idan ka ce mishi kana da intermediate knowledge ko kuma kana da beginner's knowledge akan abu daban. So the point is, GPT ko large language models suna buƙatar information ne as much as possible. You can draft prompts up to 1 page. Prompts at times can be up to 2 pages, 3 pages, or even more than that, depending on task and the so AI maka performing. The same thing, differentiated learning again. Just imagine this one. You're a student of what? Secondary school biology teacher is one. So this is still the same photosynthesis. So you can see the power of prompting. Misali, Nangun is for basic 4. Nangun Kuma is for what? SS1. So let's check something. In Makaduba, basic classes, bai ba mu wani equation ba kwata-kwata a ciki. Because at basic level, we don't need any equation na photosynthesis. Amma yanzu inda za mu sami shi wannan prompt din for SS1, definitely SS1 suna buƙatar equation na photosynthesis. So at this stage, zai ba mu equation na photosynthesis. And all this is the power of what? Prompting. Amma idan baka yi mishi haka ba, at the end of the day kaje kana code da primary, zai baka hadda equations din. So kuma kaje kana ba students in primary equations, it means is what? That will lead to cognitive overload. Kana overloading nasu ne. So let me show you an example, for example. Where am I accent? Oh, sorry. And then another feature is this. You can. This one nasa mish prompt example. So say okay prompt in the ke neman ya bani. So let's edit the prompt. This feature, idan ka je rubuta abu prompt naka kai mistake, you can edit the prompt. Wannan feature then you can see it. Ina nufin edit ne. So I can now edit my message. Sai in cire wannan example din. You see the power of prompting. Wannan prompts example ko da yake farkon ya sa ya bani amsan daban. Saboda ya dauka example nake bukata ba answer din ba. So now that I remove the example, zai bani result in abin da nake nema. Now say send. You see again struggling and slow learners. You can see average learners. So this shows you that what? Struggling and slow learners, idan ka zo explain most photosynthesis, you don't need to involve any equation. Amma for average learners, but you have to involve the equation. And the same thing with higher learners. Higher learners, they involve what? Equation. So this is just the point. So differentiated learning is very, very important. Know the level of your student. As a teacher, that manya kamata kai assistant student naka critically and know their level, so that whenever you are prompting what you want, should align with a level of understanding also. I want us to go quick so with the Missouri Megama. So the same thing in him. Here comes to exam question and generation. This is how you generate. You can generate your exam question perfectly. Perfectly. This is an example of a prompt. They want to generate an exam question. You are an experienced primary school teacher. Generate a short quiz on the following photosynthesis for basic 5. The quiz should include, can you see, 5 multiple choice A to D, 3 fill in the gap questions, 2 short answers. Ensure all questions are age appropriate. So at this stage, she's aligning cewa yan basic 5 shekarun su ya kamata ya zama nawa, and zai send zai aligning mana questions nasu with their age. So let's give an example of this. Sorry. And I will remove this. So we can see, we say we need 5. So can we see 5 multiple questions A to B? Can you see? We already have our 5 multiple questions. Say make a what? From the instruction, 3 fill in the gap. Can you see? These are our 3 fill in the gaps questions. Then make a 2 essay questions. And these are our 2 essay questions. Then at the end of the day, make a answers now. And these are our answers. Number 1, A, number 2, up to number 5. And these are the answers for the fill in the gap. And these are our short answers for essay. As simple as that. You can generate, all you need to do is say take a copy question naka. Kaje ka sa shi a Microsoft Word and submit your question. And this will give you standard questions, babu grammatical error, babu komi da komi. All da abun da kake bukata akwai a ciki. But at times, if you want to set question, I would recommend, rather than ka zo kai ba da prompt haka, it's better you attach the material, because yanzu idan ka ce baka question on photosynthesis, probably zai iya zama questions ɗin da zai maka ba dole ne question da kai covering masu a class ba. So if you want to be fair to students, all you can do is have your material, soft copy of your material, sai kai attaching material ɗin, then you can ask him to form the questions from wannan material ɗin. It's easier that way. Probably bari maka zo maybe question and answer session za mu iya demonstrating wannan magana. So rather than saying kawai ya maka creating general questions like this, it's better ka attach material da ka koyar da student din, sai ka ce ya maka generating questions based on wannan material din. Another example is what, there was a time where we were struggling ko da yaushe, especially for SS students, za a ce ana so you are training them for WAEC, ana so ka bada WAEC standard questions, ana so ka bada NECO standard exams da komi. So with GPT now, you don't need to survive yourself ka je ka nemi question paper. No, just tell the GPT to generate WAEC standard exams for you, and you're done. For example, this is what a prompt. Act as a WAEC biology examiner. Set examination questions on the topic photosynthesis for SS3 student. Follow the official WAEC biology structure. Section A, probably 15 questions. So you define it how you want it to be. In kadai a gurin nan ma kadai zaka iya samu. Amma if you want to add further instructions, ensure the question tests knowledge of what? Definitions, significance. Include a detailed marking guide consistent with WAEC standards. So with this prompt, baka bukatan ka komi. This prompt is all in one prompt. Duk wani abu da kake bukata zai answer maka. So let's give an example of this and see. This is a GPT. Okay, we say 50. Let me change this to 20. Let's get 20 OBJ questions. Can we see? And at a single prompt, you can get all that you need. Can you see? So we have our 20 questions on photosynthesis. Can we see? Our 20 questions is ready. And our answers is ready. Can you see? And you're done. All you need to do is to copy and paste. Remember, you are lazy like me, like HMH, extract it. Extract all to, for example, doc file. So in the extracting one name the document file, that is all. Yanzu all I need to know kawai bari mu danna wannan magana. So ni zai mai da mana duka wancan questions on the everything into what? A document. Into a document that I will just download the document and I'm done. So yanzu ya nuna creating question in a Canva. We explain what Canva is all about, right? So guys, one question in yanzu we can edit it. We can edit it if we want to. Maria Gama. If you want, you can edit. If you want, you can just click on download and download it. Maria Gama, the network is a bit slow. And here we can now see our questions is ready in Canva. Idan akwai abu da muke so mu editing, you can click and edit. Maybe in the maka ba. In akwai zaka copy and go to Microsoft Word and paste it. Idan kuma kana so, you can just download. So this will download what? A Microsoft document for you. And you're done. All you need, the answer is submitting question naka shikenan. Now our WAEC question is ready. Can you see? Let me open it and see. Sorry. So when you want a structure, then you need to work on the structure. But in that I'm copying and pasting, this is exactly the way it is. When you need to structure it, this is the document they downloading. You need to structure it and then format it. Your comma is format in the so. You don't come back so that you can let me try copying and pasting. Let me try copy. If I copy it now and I open my document again, let me create a new document. We know this one, I would suggest you should use this one. So the one that had the multiple pasting options. Again, we can paste this. We make a paste one, I like standard exam questions. We make a paste one, she is scattered. We make a paste one, I'm standard exam questions. So then we choose which one do we want to. Welcome, sir. So you can see, so we have our standard examination question that within the market, then you can submit. You can just save this one and submit as your examination question. So not just with biology, the same thing with all subjects. The marking scheme now, and you just extract the marking scheme at the end. Shikena, marking guide, everything you're done with a single prompt. One question, it will take you hours. Once you make a certain exam question. So without wasting much of our time, let's continue. This is exam standard. So the examination standard can be WAEC, NECO, BASE, blah blah, comma methodology. The prompting is what matters. Creative content generation. So you can act the exam, especially in lower basics. Maybe at times you need to tell a story to demonstrate certain topics. But at times that kind of so question about my kind of occasion form of story. So you can tell GPT to create a story that depicts a particular subject ko kuma particular topic na kuma certain classes. For example, okay, you are a creative primary school teacher. Generate an engaging short story to teach primary four people, sorry, pupils, the concept of photosynthesis. These are the requirements. Use simple, child-friendly language. Personify the sun, a plant, and water as characters. Keep the story under 400 words. So these are good prompting that you can use. So let's try it and see what we can get. Okay. So this prompt will surely generate a story that you can use to explain photosynthesis to your primary 4 or basic 4 pupils. Okay, I want to talk. I think my network is low. Sorry. So we can see the story. This is the story. Once upon a time in a bright green garden, lived a child, blah 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 blah. So you can see this is an engaging story, suitable for that living basic 4. When they can explain what photosynthesis is all about. You see? Just the entropy happen to little water, blah 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 up to the end. When she creates many questions. So who are the three main characters in the story? What does the living? So this is a comprehension question to test ko yaran sun gane abin da kake so ko ba su gane ba. Then another thing is you can sorry, I want to do something. Sorry. I want to generate an image. Matsalan wannan na riga na exhausting GPT wannan nawa GPT-5 and GPT-5 ne yake iya generating image. So with this content creation now, you can generate an image. So that's why I want to use my Copilot account to create an image. Yanzu, let me just say, create an engaging image showing the process of, let me say, photosynthesis. I must blend in again.
And
To basic 5. Let me leave it like this. Because with this small mistake, another thing is, so misali, I'm saying as create an engaging image showing the process of photosynthesis to basic 5. This is what, at times visuals is very very important. If you want to, you can create. Ɗalibai sun fi fahimta idan ka nuna musu abu visually rather than ka je ka nuna musu kai ta surutu da baki. So you can create visual image of duk wani abun da kake tunanin ɗalibin ka na bukata gurin ganewa. All you need to do shine ka zo gurin prompting din nan, kai creating ka rubuta prompt naka. Whatever you write. If I say create an image of flying car, GPT will do it. No matter how you query your prompts, if you like, you can be very detailed. Har da kalolin da kake bukata, ka din yana kaza yana kaza. Idan babu da yanda ka ce mishi, sorry, da yanda ka ce GPT maka, GPT will do what we want. You can see this is the image of the photosynthesis. It's still creating it. You see? So at times, this is the best way you can teach your students using images. So you can use GPT to generate any visual da kake bukata gurin tabbatar da cewa ɗalibanka sun fahimci process na wani abu. You can see this is an image showing photosynthesis. And the beauty of it shine idan ka ga wani site bai maka bane image din, you can edit. Can you see? This is an editing canvas. Maybe you can crop, you can erase one guri, you can do whatever you want to do. This is an eraser. Idan akwai inda bai maka ba, you can select and erase. Zaka je ka goge inda bai maka ba. That's how it works. So, but I don't want to tamper with this image. But you can do a lot of editing on the image. Okay, the other one actually generating image of what? A flying car. Can you see? This is a flying car. This is an image of a flying car, futuristic. So whatever you write, prompts the cover that make a generating image. So you can generate prompts and based on image in the case, so you make a generating based on topic in the case. Oh, I think we have said enough. Then content creation, okay, the same thing, administrative tasks. We know we can use GPT to generate a lot of things. Summarize student performance, we can report and give remarks, recommendation, we can draft email address, we can draft letters. Principal baya bukatan ya je cracking kwakwalwan shi gurin rubuta query. All you need to do is what? Prompt the query. Ka gaya ma GPT level da student din, and you can personalize it. Yanzu in ka ce maka query, and the same thing with the staff. If you want to respond to any query, you don't need to ka je ka sha wahala ka ce me zai rubuta. No, all you need to do is attach the query to GPT. Kai maka ce ma GPT maka responding wannan query din. And that's all. So life is very simple. Mun san da ake amfani da shi. So we can draft queries and we can draft emails, we can draft letters, we can draft queries, and we can respond to emails, letters, and queries as well. These are just an example of abun da zai mana drafting query, right? You are a head teacher of a primary school. Draft a formal staff query letter addressed to a teacher who has been absent from duty for 1 week without prior approval. So wannan din ma in ka tsaya a nan goma, GPT will do it. But if you want to personalize it, if you want to customize letter, then you can give more information. Like you can tell him to be polite, you can tell him to clear statement, a request. So these are just way of customizing and beautifying your prompts. We don't need to set this as example. The same thing with responding to a query. Then you can copy the query and paste it. Say ka paste one and kokoma you can attach the query. Shimaka che, you are a teacher who received a formal staff query for being absent from duty for 1 week in a primary school. Or you can mention school name and and draft a professional written response. Blah 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 blah, and send it. GPT will do exactly as you ask. So summarily, responsive use of AI is very, very good to know how to use AI. But we should know that at this stage, AI is a supportive tool. Taimaka mana yake yana improving duk wani abu da muke yi. Yana improving namu ne professionally and personally. If we have any problem, misali personal growth namu, you can ask him. If you want to develop a certain skill, probably critical thinking or emotional intelligence, you can ask Google. You can ask ChatGPT. Activate the learning aspect. So they are not replacing teachers, at least not yet. But they are what? Supporting tools that we can use to enhance our day-to-day learning activities. Then we have teachers must review, correct, and adapt output. Always come with tunanin cewa GPT namu are what 100% accurate. No, they make mistakes. So the abun da suka bamu, make sure we confirm it. Make sure mun correspond mun ga cewa yes, abubuwan da suka faɗa gaskiya ne. Then another thing is what? Cite AI. This is very, very important, especially at universities. At this stage, da muke amfani da shi ba criticizing AI ake yi ba, citing nashi ake yi. Idan ka ba student ne assignment, ya amfani da AI, ka ce mishi ya gaya maka prompts in da ya amfani da shi gurin yin assignment din. Like the same thing, this is what my professors are saying mostly. Yanzu ko a university in ka je a ABU in my department, za ka yi amfani da AI an baka assignment. Dai assignment da aka baka za ka yi amfani da AI. Amma abin da suke bukata at the end of the day shine ka ba su prompts in da kai amfani da shi kai assignment din. Because daga prompts in ne za su gane cewa ka fahimci question ɗin ko baka fahimta ba. understand. So citing AI is very, very important. Then the next thing is what you have to protect your privacy by posting anything sensitive. Uh, uh, a AI saboda akwai mutanen da suke monitoring nashi is open AI, abun is open, kowa na gani, everybody has access to it, shi kanshi yana koyar da kanshi. So you have to protect your privacy. Don't ever post your ID cards, your passwords to anything. At times ma there is another feature. There's akwai feature da muke amfani da shi a cikin ChatGPT. If you don't want it to save, kun san one thing with GPT shine dai abin da duk wani conversation da kai da shi ba yana koya. Is a learning, kai ma yana koya, ya san ka. Duk wani conversation da kai duk wani abin da ka gaya mishi yana koya daga gurin ka ne. Shi yasa at the end of the day in ya tambaye ka abu is good kana gaya mishi, in ya tambaye ka do you want kaza kaza, at the end of the day ka dinga bashi response like good. Idan ka samu irin response da kake so, tell him good, excellent. In amsan da ya baka ba irin kake so, ka ce mishi no. Saboda zai dinga amfani da wannan yana customizing, yana personalizing answers naka. Dai abin da ka ce mishi no ba zai sake baka response irin wannan ba. Dai abin da ka ce mishi good, excellent, zai saving a memory nashi. Next time idan ka tambaye shi abu zai dinga personalizing response naka toward waɗannan abubuwan da ka dinga mishi excellent, good. So if you don't want it to be learning from you, akwai inda ake zuwa a disabling feature din, ko kuma if you want to akwai abin da ake ce ma, sorry, let me start a new chat. Wannan abun, this is turn on temporary chat. Idan baka so GPT ya saving duk wani abun da kake, you can turn on this temporary chat. Can you see? Kun ga kaman is like an incognito mode a cikin wayoyinmu. Kun san incognito mode ba? Abun baya saving a cikin history. Yanzu duk abin da na yi a gurin nan in temporary, kun gani temporary chat ba zai saving ba. So at times the best way to ensuring privacy naka shine kai turning on temporary chat. So whatever kai a gurin nan is not going anywhere. Zai tsaya ya kan shi a system naka, ko a system din naka ma ba zai saving ba, kana fita GPT din nan ya bace kenan. So whenever you want to do something that is sensitive, it's better ka zo kai enabling wannan temporary mode. Idan ka gama, then you can go back to your normal mode. I think that's all. I've wasted enough of your time. So we just need to understand that what the future is collaborative. AI is not replacing anybody. AI is here to assist us. I do one aspect that I'm being rayuwa. So AI plus teacher is what? Better education. Thank you very much. And may I make references? Okay, GPT, Pilot, and Canva. So I have to give thanks to GPT, Pilot, and Canva because everything, the presentation, the text, the graphics, the slides, everything is generated by AI. Babu wani, all the pictures are generated by AI, text in the market, they are AI generated. She slides in is AI created. So you can see with AI, you can do everything. So therefore, reference, we have to give thanks to AI. Thank you very much for your rapt attention. Now it is question and answers session.